I have lost track of what the name of the storm is this previous weekend. I think there was two, but you know what that means. Super windy Sunday racing, and this meant for race 3, everyone else had headed in, they'd had enough, there was far too much breeze, and so it was just me and my dad, just like good old times, our old club in lasers. And as just like old times, I'm giving him a hard time on the start line. Some things never change. Now he's really struggling to point in the EPS. It's not renowned for pointing, so he decides it's best not to get squeezed out. I was trying to force him to tack, but apparently he didn't want to do that, especially because the trees on the right-hand side were definitely a bit softer and very, very shifty. Now I'm just trying to extend my lead here, hoping I can just get my foot down and keep out of any trouble, but I spoke too soon. As you can see, the main sheet, just like when I was at Datchet, has got caught around the back corner. This is the first time it happened all day as well, which was annoying, but you can probably tell I'm getting quite tired after 2 races of 20-25 knots of breeze. I'm getting quite good though of coming off the trapeze quickly and being able to quickly solve these problems and then get myself back in. Oh, hang on, there we go, finally solved, so now I can get myself back and going. Luckily, EPS still behind me at this point. Now I'm heading over to the left-hand corner to try and make the most of the good breeze in the middle. So now I'm hitting towards the ley line, time for attack. But this is not my finest tack, I'll be honest. What happened was I sort of stuttered and wanted to take it easy to make sure I didn't, tack too soon. But what happened was I ran out of speed and I just came to a complete halt. And now I'm, trying to get the kicker off, trying to get some power back in the main. Finally, I get myself sorted. But then as soon as I put the controls back on, the rig gets super stiff, and then it just falls over completely unexpectedly. All it takes is a little bit of wind in that top of the square top, and it's game over. Hopefully, this doesn't take too long to resolve. I think I spent about 3 minutes upside down, really not what I had in mind. Luckily I didn't fall in the water, which did speed up the capsize process a little bit. There I am, hopping back in. Time to now head towards the windward mark, which I thought was X, which if anyone knows Grafham, X is slightly west to C, which was our actual windward mark, and C's for the wind direction slightly more windward to X. So I'm lined up for X, completely blissfully unaware that I've misread the board and it was C, because we had been using X in the previous 2 races as the windward mark. As you can see, I'm really struggling to keep the boat flat. I definitely need to work on some upper body strength for the season ahead if I want to be able to handle these conditions, especially at a big event. But I feel like I'm doing okay considering this is race 3 and I'm not as fit as I was last year. Time to go for attack now. I think I'm on the ley line for X, not C. But I have this realization not long after I tack. Luckily, I made that tack look quite smooth in comparison to the previous one. Definitely could have been nicer, but sometimes we play these things safe. Now, I've realized we're going to C, not X. So the dilemma I'm having here is I don't think I'm going to make C, so I'm pinching for as much height as possible without getting that leeward rack in the water. It's very difficult with the shore so close from the clubhouse and those tall trees, because it gets very, very shifty from this southern direction, but I'm working with what I can. Now, I could have done 2 tacks, but as we have seen, probably not a risk worth taking trying to do 2 quick double tacks with those shifts, so I decided just to really go for the height, and even though I wanted to nudge off 5 degrees and just go for speed. Right, time to chase down the EPS. Now, nice rounding I would say, so time to now get all the controls off and really power up that main. Now, if I was playing it a little safe, I might not take the kicker completely off, especially how it was getting really quite windy in this final race. But I got everything off, and as you can see, my main has really opened up now, because I want anything I can do to catch the EPS and beat them on the water. But not long after that nasty nosedive, I decided, a little bit of kicker's not a bad thing after all. So let's see if I can catch them up. Key thing is I'm able to soak really low here to be able to make some good gains. There goes the EPS. Now the EPS did a tack round all the way, but I decided I had no choice but to jibe. could just hear my dad shouting, "That was brave," considering how much wobble there was on the exit. But now I'm on the exit, it's time to get my weight back and just accelerate. Now I'm lined up quite nicely with the leeward mark now, so I just need to focus on keeping the boat nice and flat and going for speed. Probably wondering why am I not on the trapeze. It's so low and I'm trying to soak even lower so I can have a nice rounding, so I can go in wide and come out quite tight. But yeah, in order to do that, I decided the trapeze was probably not optimal. But I could have definitely been standing on the emergency corner or the safety corner and 1 foot on the gunnel. Starting to pull the controls back on a little bit early, but I just wanted to make sure that I was absolutely ready in case I got hit by another gust, and it meant trying to reach the controls was just going to be a little bit sketchy. Nice rounding, but definitely could have done with pumping the main in a little bit quicker, but you know, we work with what we have. Luckily though, in the previous 2 races it was really tough to line up with the start line, but here I was able to line up. You can see the committee boat just on the right above my rack, so I am able to make this in 1 go luckily, but I was worried I was going to have to do a tack if I didn't do the rounding tight enough. And as we know, my tacks in this race, not the risk we want to take. I was very grateful to see that I was lining up quite nicely, boat was going nice and smoothly, but sadly I had not made enough distance on the EPS to beat them on handicap. If I hadn't spent 3 minutes upside down, I probably would have got them, but you know, you live and you learn. Always next time.